Hello everyone and welcome to another News Coolum video and another plug side chat. So I wanted to check in with everyone and I wanted to address a really important topic. And on this channel we discuss serious topics, and there's something that I wanted to talk about that I think it's a very grave danger to electric vehicles. And that is the zombie apocalypse. Now, bear with me for a moment here because we see a lot of post-apocalyptic movies that come out and post-apocalyptic series, and a lot of them are built around the zombie franchises. You have the Walking Deads and everything else. And one thing that you see in all of these post-apocalyptic movies is people driving in cars, whether it's the Mad Max style, the zombie style, whatever it is. People are driving around in cars, and they're not just driving around in any cars, they're driving around in gas cars. And in fact, I don't know that I've seen a single post apocalyptic movie that actually depicted transportation realistically, at least in terms of automotive transportation. There's that one movie with Viggo Mortensen, the Road. That's maybe the most accurate, where they were just walking everywhere. But let's say there is some sort of societal collapse. Let's say there is some sort of zombie apocalypse. There will be only two vehicle types that will actually still be functioning after that apocalypse happens, right? One of them will be electric vehicles. The other will be diesel. There won't be any gasoline-powered cars left. And the reason for it is gasoline requires massive infrastructure to be put in place to refine it. And yeah, you can make some alcohol brews and some biofuels and things like that, but that's not going to happen. And then even with diesel, diesel won't be sustainable, not compared to electricity. And the reason for it is there's a lot of energy and work that needs to go into producing diesel. For a while, yeah, you'll be able to pull oil out of old abandoned gasoline-powered cars, or pull mineral oil out of the transformers on old power poles, things like that. But that's not going to last very long. It's not very sustainable. It's not very realistic. And again, you have to keep those engines running, all of the upkeep. Any sort of internal combustion engine vehicle is literally trying to blow itself apart. So long term, even diesel is going to go away, right? Or these biofuel type engines running on alcohol or whatever conversions you want to make, because it's just way too much work for the benefit that you get out of it. And the range really isn't going to be an issue, because once you've lost your infrastructure, you really are going to be staying relatively close to your communities. Maybe a day out, maybe 2 days out. But when I say a day or two out, we're talking about going 40, 50 miles in a day. That's about it. You're not going to go farther than that, not because the vehicle might not have that range, but you're not going to be able to trust the infrastructure, not going to be able to trust security beyond your community. So really what you're going to see is a rise of electric vehicles in those post-apocalyptic circumstances. And I guess really what I'm saying here is I wish these movies would actually deal with that subject matter a little bit more accurately, because what they're doing is they're building this perception that somehow or another gasoline powered vehicles are your only option, right? That it's the only thing that you'd be able to use in a post-apocalyptic world, as you'd hop in an old Blazer or an old station wagon and you'd fill it up with gas and you'd drive to some safe haven, right? Well, it's not going to work that way. And what's actually going to happen as these communities start to develop, you're going to see more, homebrew, do-it-yourself electric vehicles, neighborhood electric vehicles. Batteries, not necessarily lithium batteries, but just batteries in general, are really easy to make. Electricity is really easy to produce, especially at a local level. You don't even necessarily need solar panels. You can do heat collectors and steam turbine generation. You can do hydroelectric. There's numerous ways to convert heat and other energy forms into electricity, and you'd be wanting that electricity anyway, just because it makes home life so much easier. So really what you'd see in any of these post-apocalyptic worlds, if they were to actually occur, is all of the gasoline-powered vehicles would be left on the side of the road. They'd just be makeshift shelters overnight where you'd sleep when the zombies came. But they wouldn't be used for transportation. They're not reliable enough, they're not consistent enough, and they're not easy enough to fuel and keep running. That's an interesting subject that should probably be broached by Hollywood or these studios. And I think you'll see that it's probably a turning point as well. When we finally see a post-apocalyptic world that's dealing with automotive transportation realistically, I think we'll know that as a society, we've turned a corner, and that we'll recognize that, wait a minute, gasoline-powered vehicles aren't the future. Whether utopian or dystopian, they actually just really don't have a place in the future. If you want a reliable vehicle that provides you with self-reliance, that you can fuel on your own, that you don't need to constantly repair, it's going to be an electric vehicle. It's not going to be internal combustion. It's not going to be gasoline. That's for sure. There just won't be a society to support it. And you really do need an entire society to support a gasoline-powered vehicle. Let me know what you think. Do you watch some of those post-apocalyptic shows? Have you also hit your head in frustration every time you see someone 2 years out from some apocalyptic event driving around in a gasoline-powered vehicle as though they could keep it running and keep it in gasoline? If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It wasn't quite as serious or on topic as some of my others, but I think it is actually an interesting thought experiment nonetheless to think about how EVs would fit into an actual future where the infrastructure and society collapsed. And thank you for watching.